What is up, Scrub fam? I am back, and set 8 just had the pre-release weekend. A lot of people are really hyped about the set. Cards are going out of control when it comes to pricing so far, just based off of the hype that these new decks are generating. So today we're going to be going over a set 8 deck profile, one that everyone's already talked about. People already have a feel of, this deck in general, what's going to be happening with it as it moves forward. There's a lot of hype around the deck itself. I myself, it's one of my favorite decks right now, just due to how strong it is, how fast it is, because it kind of just breaks one of those rules that we talk about when it comes to your deck building going into a new environment, which it's, be the fastest, be the most consistent, or be the most powerful. And this deck kind of does a really good job of doing all three. So we're going to go ahead and go through the deck. Before I get started, let me give a shout out to my sponsor, Albastrama, Beer Collectibles, best shop owner on the planet, and then of course my competitive team that I'm a part of, Shinron's Lair, best team on the planet. So anyway, let's go straight into the deck profile. So it's Jeskai Super Baby. I know people don't like using Magic terms, but it is what it is. We're playing 3 colors. We're playing yellow, blue, and red. And of course, I'll get into the blue splash in a second, but let's just go through the basics. So 4 Dr. Me the Mastermind and 4 Baby Evil Origins. Reason why is because Baby Evil Origins, of course, is a great card, but it's even better when you get to play it for free. And in this deck, you really want to get into the mindset of getting as many bodies on the board as possible. And so Dr. Me the Mastermind allows that to happen, because once you have a dual color energy down, you can play him for free and then go get your baby, draw 3, discard 2, and then now you have 2 bodies on the board before everything starts to go the way you need it to go. Playing our Brainwash package, we're playing 13 sources, so we're playing 4 Son Goten, 4 Son Gohan, 3 Bulma, 2 Bulla. The 2 Bulla is mostly because you just want to have the ability to have something that you can do defensively, because this deck is really lacking defense in game 1. So you want to have that option. And then of course you want to have your Bulmas to help you tutor other Brainwash cards and baby pieces, and you want to have 4 and 4 of your main attackers that you get to play for free with Baby's Awakened ability. So especially Son Gohan Brainwash, because if you get 20k down and you're playing against someone after you've just negged their board and their leader with Super Baby 2 Malicious Majesty, the card is incredibly powerful. So for dual color cards, we're playing 3 Whis the Spectator, 4 Super Baby 1 All-Consuming Terror, 3 Super Baby 2 Malicious Majesty, and then 1 of the Baby Janimba Secret Rare. The reason why we're only playing 3 Malicious Majesty is because it's a card that, number 1, is tutorable by your 4-drop, and at the same time, you can also have it in your hand for the 4-drop. So unless you have all 3 copies in your life, or you get them milled, there's not much really that can go wrong. So playing 3, nothing wrong with it. You can even play 2 if you want to do, but I think that's a little too risky. So those are dual color cards. We're playing 4 Shu on the offensive as our super combo. We're playing Super Baby 1 the Conqueror. This card is great because since you're able to pressure your opponent's life total rather easily, you're going to be able to get this 1 to 2 damage requirement done. So you're going to be able to get this on the board to help you go for game. And so ideally, like I said, you want to kind of create a wide board as possible. So you want to play all these effects that kind of give you a body for free or a body for cheap. Next thing is we're playing 2 SS3 Tag Team Trunks as our Overrealm. Reason why is because this is all going towards the turn where you're trying to kill the opponent. You want to try and get, again, this is a free Overrealm, and it's a 15k double strike crit when it goes off, and then your opponent is going to be, if they're awakened, at minus 5k, or if they're not awakened, they're going to be at minus 10k. So them combing over this is incredibly difficult. So this plus a 5k combo, or even just this itself, is usually going to be able to push through for the double strike crit, which is exactly what you want, because you really want to take your opponent from whatever their life total is to 0 on this turn. So we're playing 2 of these, and they're playing 1 Bodyguard Legic. So Legic, great card. You want to be able to, again, get free bodies on the board, and this is really just going to be good in the situations where your opponent is playing something on the first turn more often than not. Otherwise, this card is going to be pretty much dead, because you're going to fill up the board quickly. Because that's the goal. Like I said before, the more bodies you get on the board, the more swings you'll be able to get in. So you can enable Super Baby 2 Malicious Majesty. Because that's honestly the only thing that can really stop this deck, is if you have a really small board and you're down to maybe just 1 to 2 attackers plus your leader and Super Baby 2, because it's that's less they have to work through. So you really want to get these little minions on board per se, so you just can get these attacks in, so you can force through Super Baby 2 Malicious Majesty, so the opponent's going to have to eat all that damage. Then for our blue splash, we're playing 3 Desperate Measures, 3 Sensu Bean. Why Desperate Measures? Honestly, because one of the cards that shuts down this deck relatively well is Topo, Righteous Ape. So Desperate Measures counters that card. It also counters a lot of the different counterplay cards that people are playing. So Desperate Measures is the perfect card to play in this deck, and then 3 Sensu Beam, because why not? I mean, getting extra use out of your energy is great, and we want to keep the blue splash relatively small, so we want to play cards that are incredibly useful. So we're playing 3 Beam, 3 Desperate Measures, and we're doing this main deck. In general, a lot of people talk about doing this stuff in the sideboard, but honestly, I do think that Topo is just going to be a really popular card, so I think having something to answer it in the main deck, game 1, is just incredibly important in helping you be able to seal the deal, because this deck in game 1 is going to be like pretty much a combo deck for the most part. So you want to be able to stop your opponent from interacting with your combo. And then of course Super Baby Leader is the reason why I like this leader as opposed to the starter deck one. This one makes your deck way more consistent. You see a lot more cards. Choose 2 cards in your life, add them in your hand, look at the top 3, choose one Baby or Brainwash, place it in your hand. So your front side is going to get 2 activations, maybe even 3 activations if you're incredibly greedy and don't want to awaken. So it's going to be seeing 3 cards each time you activate it. Then you're going to draw 2 on Awaken, which is a ton. Combine that with Baby Evil Origins, and you get through your deck and you see all your pieces relatively easily. And then, of course, on the backside, when your opponent's leader is 0 or less, this card gains triple attack, which is the reason why you're playing this deck, because you want to get your opponent's leader to below 0. And once you do, and your leader gains triple attack, it's incredibly difficult to defend. The only thing that's going to answer it is Topo. Of course, Flying Nimbus helps with battle card swings, but the leader swing is fine. And then then activate main once per turn, choose up to 1 Brainwash card in your hand and play it. So this is why I like playing the 4-Go-10, 4-Gohan, just to be able to get that as attackers out there in their relatively big body, especially once your opponent's down to 0 or less. Potential sideboard options right now, pretty straightforward. My biggest focus right now is thinking about like post-board and mid-range matchups, and against the decks that are going to be able to interact with your combo more. You're going to want to play 4 Parasitic Menace and 4 Apocalyptic Grudge. You're going to want to be able to go into this so you can start playing a more mid-range grindy game. You can still keep your combo in the deck itself, because you can just honestly, if you know you're playing against something that doesn't have Topo, you can strip your Desperate Measures out and then start to bring in these more relevant cards for the matchups that you need. You'll side out your SS3 Tag Team Trunks in those matchups and bring in Fu the Dark Banisher. Dark Power Black Messiah is just a clutch card right now. No reason not to play it. And then 2 more Topo Righteous Aid to give you a full 4, especially if you're playing in something like the Mirror. So it's just a sideboard that gives you options to kind of like switch your strategies up. So allows you to play like a more fair, more mid-range game. And that honestly is going to be the way that you're going to steal those games from people that are trying to interact with you. Because once you get an early 6-drop Baby down, unless they have to have their removal right then, but if they don't, then they're not going to be able to do anything against you. You're just going to have this 30k on the board, and then it just helps you buy time so you can set up your Super Baby 2 Malicious Majesty, and then you can go for a game with your leader, of course. But anyway, this is the deck profile itself. I don't want to say super simple, super easy. The deck requires a lot of managing your game state, making sure you're not overcommitting, making sure that you're not walking into the different counters that your opponent may have, making sure you protect your Super Baby 1 All-Consuming Terror, and then of course just making sure that, like I said, you can build that wide board. So that's why you really want the 1-drops. That's why you want to be able to play your Brainwash folks for free, because the wider your board gets, the better your Malicious Majesty is going to be. The likelihood is you'll be able to win the game. So again, what I usually like to do is, if I can combo the Super Baby 1 on my opponent's turn, I always do. And then, of course, Malicious Majesty. And then my goal, oftentimes, is to have a Mew, a Baby, a Brainwashed, then get a Super Baby consuming, Super Baby 1 the Conqueror, then get an SS3 Tag Team Trunks. And then that way, my board is so wide, so much damage is coming through. Unless they have to have an answer, and that's why I play Desperate Measures, because the only answer that's going to be able to stop that board effectively is Topo. If they don't have the Topo, then you're good. But if they do have it, you just Desperate Measures it, and then now your opponent's usually going to be tapped out. This is all taking place on your 3rd turn of the game, so more than likely you're going to be able to close it out. But in general, deck's incredibly powerful. You can try it with and without the blue splash. If you want to take out the blue splash, I just recommend either more tech cards, or you're playing more pieces that help your deck be even more consistent. Because that's one thing I'm doing, is I'm trading some of the consistency for this tech option. So in general, keep that in mind as you're going forward. Hope you're enjoying testing this format. I know that set 8 is fantastic. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I know that the team is as well. But thank you guys all so much for subscribing. If you're looking for more information or want to learn more about the game itself, go ahead and check out the 3x3 Productions Patreon. And if you're looking for the best deck building site, please check out Sherman's Lair. And if you're looking to purchase your sealed product for set 8, go through Bearded Collectibles. Scrub fam is best fam. Bye!